Yeah, so good day and welcome once again to the talk. It's always a pleasure being here. I'm always happy to be in this place. In Yah We Trust. And for most of us who trust in the Most High, one day we would reap the benefits of serving the Most High. Okay? Now, in this life, you got tools. But I want to believe it or not, you have two roads to travel, right? It's either you serve the Most High or Elohim, or you don't serve him at all. Okay? It's either you serve or Elohim or you don't serve him at all. It's as simple as that. Now, when you have to serve our Elohim, you have to serve him and worship him in spirit and in truth, because he's a spirit. In other words, you can't see him with your naked eyes like that, right? So you have to serve him in spirit and in truth. Now, a lot of people will tell you that they're serving our Elohim, they're serving him, he's their God, and stuff like that. But then they know nothing of the spirit, okay? And it doesn't have truth in them. It's real, because by their works you don't know them. You don't know them, and you know that people could be speaking things in their mouth and the actions indicate something completely different. But the scriptures speak about that, because the scripture said that the Most High said that most of you just serve me with your mouth. It's like you could talk about it, you could say, yes, well, I serve in the Most High, I go to church, stuff like that. Yeah. So in your view, you're deceiving yourself, right? And a lot of people have this tendency to deceive themselves, telling people that they are serving our Elohim when they are actually serving themselves. You see that in most of the organized religions these days. People serve themselves, and everything they say, everything they do, it's about serving themselves. They believe in the flesh only. They serve the flesh. They are greedy. They will be dishonest with you. I've known people who say they keep the Sabbath and ha, big joke. You understand? But anyway, the thing about it is this, that if you are not serving the Most High or Elohim, if your thoughts is basically about yourself, what you should eat, what you should drink, what car you should buy, what house you should build, if your thoughts are basically that, without a shadow of a doubt, I could tell you straight up, you're worshiping Satan. Because that is what Satan uses to get you. And when Satan have you living in the flesh, when Satan have you thinking only about yourself, about your ambitions, when he has you on that trajectory, he knows where that road leads. You don't know, because all you're concentrating on is temporary self-gratification. That is what you are thinking about. That is your mission in life. See? But then if you decide to serve the Most High or Elohim in spirit and in truth, you realize your life just become completely different in a way that you would never really, or you had never imagined. Because in that respect, you will be seeing life. You'll be seeing material things as just what they are. You understand? It's not things that you should even try to hold and grasp, and like, you don't know if you live in tomorrow. You don't know if you live in next week. You understand? But then you spend your life gathering all this stuff for tomorrow. You don't know if you'll see. Let me tell you something. And I always tell people, it doesn't make a difference whether you have a lot of money or whether you have a lot of this and serving Musa. Once Musa is your priority, it's not a problem. Okay? But I will tell you something. Just recently, a guy was telling me that, and I realize he always say these things. That, you work and you have to save money in case something happens. And in his mind, he's working just in case, and he's saving this money because just in case something happens. So I asked him, I say, what could happen? I don't know, but something could happen, So I know he's thinking about in case he gets sick, and stuff like that. But I try to get him not to be obsessed with that. Because let me tell you something. The scriptures say, how a man thinketh, so is he. And if a man think about something happening, believe me, you're setting the foundation for something to happen. And don't doubt that most people who work all the years and have all their money, when they reach a certain age, if something was happening, yeah, because that is what you've been working for something to happen, so that is what you put out there, that is how you create your path for something to happen. And believe it, something does happen, because if it's about the physical, remember, the spirit is way stronger than the physical. And when you get that spirit to dominate that because everybody have a spirit, is where you decide to use your spirit. And if you get that spirit of yours to dominate your physical body, and it's taking commands from you, your flesh is taking commands from your spirit, and then you singing every day about something will happen. Yeah, well, you know what will happen. Something will happen. So that is how we have to look at things. The scripture said, do not worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow will take care of itself. Do not worry about what you shall wear or what you shall eat. Because hear this, look at all them boys looking pretty. I clothe them. The point I am making here is not for you to sit down and don't worry. The point I am making here is this, that the scriptures say, by the sweat of thy brow thou shalt eat bread. So you will have to work to eat bread. You understand? But then you don't have to go stressing yourself and let people fool your heart with greed and discontentment. You understand? Because once they fill you with greed and discontentment and this false sense of ambition and stuff like that, which actually is greed and envy and stuff, all these things come under ambition as far as I'm concerned, right? When they fill your mind with that, That is what you will be projecting, you know. And then you will become this wanting kind of person. Your life will be about want. I don't know how to stop. It's just because you become addicted to stupidness. You become addicted to greed and the flesh. And believe you me, you cannot satisfy the flesh. Trust me. Fear not. That is why the scripture says you have to mortify the flesh on a daily basis, because that flesh is constantly a thorn in your body. I mean, just a thorn in your life. You can't get rid of it, but you have to mortify it. You have to punish the flesh. And when I say punish the flesh, I'm not taking a rope and go beat yourself on your back like how some mad people in their religion does do. I'm talking about sometimes your flesh might want something and you don't give it. You just don't give in to it at any time. See? There is a reason Paul basically says like you have two powers in him. You know, two different forces with him, and that is the flesh and the spirit. And they war against each other constantly. And you have to be aware of that. You know, you have to be aware of that. You have to serve the Most High Elohim, spirit and in truth. You know, do you know whether your spirit is male or female? You don't. Because when you're really in the deep aspect of the spirit, you cannot see anything like male or female. You understand? I mean, the scripture in Galatians 3:28 tells you that there is no Jew or Greek, no bond nor free, neither male nor female. That is when you are in Yahushua. Okay? So when you are in the spirit, you transcend all the wants and the needs and the whole influence of the flesh. You understand? You know, I'll tell you something, most people wouldn't really get it, right? Now, the whole idea of what Yahushua teaches us, the whole idea is to get away from that physical, and that is what he did in our presence. When he was risen from the dead, he escaped the death that was in the flesh. You understand? He escaped it, and he escaped that through the spirit. You know, because you have to walk through the spirit. I see people doing little pettiness, like, you know, trying to hustle little money here and little money there, and hate people and get selfish when they get a little money. They're better than this and better than that. Nonsense. You know, we have to be steadfast. You know, and as I said, Yahushua transcends the flesh, you know, way above the flesh by way of the spirit. He was always in the spirit. You know, that is why they could have brutalized his body, but his thoughts were with our Elohim, because he was living in the spirit with our Elohim. Okay? And if you look at Galatians 5:22-23, talk about the fruits of the spirit. And if you really think about it, you know, the different fruit of the spirit, you'll realize Yahushua lived all. You have the fruit of the spirit is love, joy, peace, long suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. You know, when you have all these combined, you live above the law. You see, when you live in the spirit, there is no law for you. No law, absolutely no law. You understand? Everything you do will be perfect. Everything you do will be in honor for Elohim. It becomes effortless. You know, and to live like that in this world, as it is You know, it's not only a challenge, you know. You understand? But just being that kind of person could lead you straight to the cross, like how Yahushua went there. Because people in this world as it is right now, they does not understand what is love. They always have this false sense of joy and peace, and it's like they go down the road, they spend all their money and wind up whole night watching people and they think that is joy. You understand? They don't believe in long suffering. Most of them, they have no idea what is gentleness. They don't know what is goodness. They have no faith, meekness, temperance, nothing like that. They're not humble. So if you as a follower of Yahushua Mashiach, and then you are exercising love, you know, you're actually doing love with people. You know, you give to the poor, you help out the needy, you meet brethren and you talk with brethren and you worship with brethren and sisters. Now, if your life is like that, which they might say you're pious, you know, if you're showing meekness, you know, your humbleness, you know, and everything like that, people would look at you different. People will most definitely hate you, because in this world, when you choose to be different, people think that you are trying to be better than them, and people will most definitely hate you for that, because that is exactly how Yahushua lived. Okay, that is how he lived, and because of that, because the power that encircles him, because of the love, the joy, the peace, the gentleness, the calmness they are seeing in him, they just could not cipher him out, because he's not, he was not one of the crowd when he was here. He was completely different. He didn't have no big house and no car, no bus and no van, but then he had that sense of superiority, which a lot of people, I do believe, think that he's playing better than them. And most of them say, he proud and he walking proud. No, just integrity. It wasn't about pride. He's the most humblest man, yet the world can't understand that. And there is a reason he said that if they do what they do to me, then don't expect them to do you different. They will do you what they did to me. They hate me, don't think they would love you. I just tell people, once you see people loving you, or they think they're loving you and showing you appreciation, be careful. Be very, very careful. Think about yourself a lot in this respect, in relation to your spirit. You know, always judge yourself. Yes, you have to do that. Always check yourself and make sure you're on the right path. You know, when you find you're becoming the world's favorite, check yourself. It's important. You understand? But brethren, we have to walk uprightly. Right? We have to walk uprightly. Right? And we have to serve our Elohim in spirit and in truth. And if you serve our Elohim in spirit and in truth, and we have absolutely no confidence in the flesh, because the flesh is deceitful, you know, we have to be always watching our flesh, you know, our thoughts, you know, what we crave for. We have to watch all those things, what we eat, what you think about, all that is the flesh. You know, we have to be careful. Okay? We have to be careful. We have to be in control of the flesh. We have to be every day, every minute, every hour, have to be careful of the flesh, because the flesh is temporary things. Sometimes you might see somebody's wife and all of a sudden you feel lustful. You have to check this. You know, the thoughts could come, yes, but you have to check it. You have to make sure you're more right. And you understand, you might see somebody with some shoes, some clothes, some car, some house, and you just get envious of all of a sudden. Don't let it get away. Deal with it instantly. Call unto the Most High Elohim. Deal with it. You know, you might see somebody and all of a sudden you're feeling as though you hate that person. When you realize this thing happened, is your flesh that trying to lead you down the drain. You have to pull up on that and you could call that person, hey, what's up? Show the person some smile and some love, and I could guarantee you, if you do that, man, you're on the way to life. And in every aspect of it, you see somebody on the negative, you understand, they're talking negative, don't think, get yourself involved in the negative. But if you sort of feel different about that, you know, some people feel resentment and stung because people do certain things, then call on to the Most High. Talk to him one time, instantly, because he's always there. You understand? He's always there. You know, I don't think you could get a better lesson anyway. Because I'll tell you this. Our life on the face of the earth, our life on this earth, is not to come here, sit down, eat, drink, have sex, maybe make children and just kick the bucket. Our life is not about that. You see, our life is a journey back to our Elohim. And it doesn't matter what we do, the priority of our life, the purpose. Some of you like to talk about purpose. But the purpose of your life, the real purpose, I'm not talking about you come here to be no mechanic, that is nonsense. Or you come here to be a dog, that is nonsense. Your purpose is to build yourself in a way that is acceptable to our Elohim. Seek our Elohim throughout your life. You know, I just tell people, the best gift you could give a child in this world, the best gift is to point him or her to the Most High. You put them on a path to the Most High, because whether you want to believe it or not, that is where they are going back. And depends on what they do here will determine whether they will be staying with our Elohim or they'll be going somewhere else, in some utter darkness or some nonsense like that. So we have to know what our life is for. Some of us, we knew it all along, and most of us, we try to break out this because we were badly educated, so we learn to uneducate ourselves on certain things, and we try to serve our Elohim, do what he instructed us. It doesn't happen in a day. Trust me. It is always good to have the right person with you, and you know, so you all could complement each other and everything like that, you know, because that is how the Most High our Elohim created us. You know, it's like he created Adam, but then he placed Eve because he knew that if he put Eve in the garden, she will be a helper to Adam. Now, in this time and age, a proper woman with a man, or a proper man with a woman, will be a great helper. Now, I'm not talking about any material things and money wise. I'm talking about the good people that could study together and show themselves approved. They complement each other through humility and submittance. It's the beauty of our Elohim. Okay, and even if they happen to have a child or children within that commune, then it makes better. That's the beauty of what our Elohim teaches us. Okay, so we have to know what our purpose is here. I also just let people know that dying is part of the life, basically. And when people die, you know, we have a tendency to scream and make a whole set of noise. Yeah. You know, people dying means that they leave us. They are not in our life anymore. Okay? We would not be able to hold them, we would not be able to touch them, we would not be able to talk to them anymore. You know? But then that is just the physical aspect of it. You understand? So you could go ahead and mourn in your physical. But then if you look at it in a spiritual standpoint, you realize that it have more to it than this person living. It's like if they are in the spirit, it's like they never really left. And if you live your life the way the Most High or Elohim wants you to live, and that person left the earth, and you know they leave the earth righteous, you don't have to cry much. I mean, you'll miss them because they go out of your life, but then in your spirit you have to rejoice, because then you could see that that person, they did their purpose. You don't have to have all the lands and houses and whatever, but the mere fact that they discover our Elohim, the mere fact that they live a righteous life, you have to consider it a win for them, because they will see Yah. You know, the people who you could scream for in your spirit and everything is when you know they live wicked and they die wicked. But some people like to say, well, what about if they had a last minute conversion before they die? Well, if you are a thief on the cross, the Yah will know. But then I know for a fact that you have most people who die so wicked, convinced of their wickedness, that they never think about no last minute anything. And as a matter of fact, most of them who might do that, they're not genuine. It's just like sometimes you get caught by your husband. You know, you get caught by your husband doing some kind of adultery. And what would you tell him? It's not really what he sees. You know? It's something completely different. Okay? You're not genuine. Right? So it's like somebody will come and say, well, hey, this person, you know, this person die and maybe they have no, they have no last minute conviction. Let me tell you something. As I said, sometimes your husband caught you or your wife caught you. You understand? And you might trying to be telling them things like, no, it's not what you see. They don't mean nothing like that. It's nothing. They're trying to convince you you didn't see anything. Or they might, well, in technical terms, you only talking all this nonsense because you are caught. You only saying that you are sorry because you are caught. Basically that. And you can't blindside our Elohim. You see, because he will take it to account. He will look at your heart. So you can't tell them, well, okay, well, you know, it's like I kind of sorry for my sins, you know, and things like that, you know, and I know I'm going, but I really sorry. That is just words, because you talk about it. Most of you live your life serving the Most High with parts of speech, but your heart is dirty. Your heart robbing me, your heart robbing she, your heart doing all this nasty stuff. You know, I do believe that women should step up and be upright. Men should just step up and be upright. Stand for something. You know, that is what we do. That is how we supposed to live. Serving our Elohim in spirit and in truth. But the world change you around so much. You know, the world have you thinking that your mission in life, your goal in life is to get an education, get a job, get a good job, a gainful job, you know, and do what? Make some money and buy a house and a car. Yes, a house and a white picket fence, you know, and mama guy yourself in it for the rest of your life. When you reach out 65, you could stop work. You know, and then the government will give you like a pension. You'll just stay there and just enjoy the fruits of your labor. And then you will just die and they will just put you in Grandma Cemetery. And that is a life well lived according to the world. Nah. You see, I can't see it so because life is too wonderful for that. You know, there's a lot of beauties in life that people don't see because most of them don't care to see. Just like I was watching a movie recently. You know, it's not those kind of movie where all the slackness has happened. One guy was saying, look, there's a lot of people with silk bed. The bed made of silk. Really expensive. And yet, they never had a comfortable night sleeping in it. Because why? Stress, problems, no Elohim, thinking about your money, thinking about your this, thinking about your that, you know? Yeah. But if your mind is right to the Most High or Elohim, everything else will be right with you. It doesn't matter. Remember what the scripture said? The scripture said, the little that a righteous man have with contentment. Don't forget that, my brethren and my sister, is better than all the riches of the wicked. You know? If you cannot sit down just like that and feel comfortable just in the presence of our Elohim, something is wrong with you spiritually. You know, it has some people that do everything you could think about, everything. They just push themselves in different areas, just constantly searching. It's just like some people will go from one church to the next, looking for something that is within them. Yes, Father Yah, give us the strength and the courage. People rushing here, there, looking for something that the Most High already placed within you. From one church to the next, from one man to the next, from one woman to the next, from one car to the next, just branching around, running around like mad people, looking for that which is already within you. You know, there is a reason the scripture tells you that the kingdom of heaven is within you, you know. But most people just constantly failing to look there. Most people don't like to look at themselves, you know. You think about yourself, seriously. You think about yourself, I have to wear this, I have to put on that, I have to look better, I have to do everything like that. But you never really look at yourself. Because if you truly look at yourself, you will see where you're faltering and where you're making nonsense and look to better. So most people, though they are selfish, they never truly look at themselves. They just accept themselves for the nonsensical person they are, maybe, and they enjoy that, and they try to impose that on people. But I'll tell you something though. The kingdom is within you. And if the kingdom is within you, that little faith that the Most High Elohim give you, if you could only tap into it, you will see what it means to have the fruits of the Spirit within you. You will see. And once you discover that fruit of the Spirit, which is already within you, but some of you suppress it with wickedness. You know, you're not humble, you know, so you can't experience it. But it's there. Okay? You can't experience it if you're not serving our Elohim. And if you want to, or you want to start to serve our Elohim, you must do it in spirit and in truth. And to begin that journey, you must be humble. Humility. You understand? You must serve our Elohim. And you must be humble. Humility is the key. Because if you are not humble, if you don't know what humility is, then you would not experience the Most High ever. It's as simple as that. And most people, it's very difficult to be humble for a lot of people. It is easy, but for some people, it's like a taboo. Because they fool with the pride and the arrogance. Okay? But we have to escape this, and we have to serve the Most High, our Elohim, in spirit and in truth. Okay, so with that, remember, I'm telling you that there is no Jew, nor Greek, nor Gentiles, nor male, nor female if you are in Yah. There is nothing like that. So it doesn't matter if you're blue, black, red, yellow, green, whatever color it is, whatever culture you are. Once you're serving our Elohim, you understand, color have no worries, no input there. Let me tell you something, what I realized. I realized something, and I'll just kind of tell you. You know, in the book of Revelation, they state that when John saw, you know, he saw Yah, saw his son. His feet were like burnt bronze. Yeah, and that is basically like our color. And then the eye red like blood, and you have all this white beard, you know. And I'm thinking that you could only show his eye red like blood and you have all this white beard and woolly hair because you're black, so those things stand out. You understand? Behind the black, because most of us is, oh, I don't be red like blood anyway, especially when we are angry most of the time. Okay? But then we are the only nation on earth that doesn't see color. I'm telling you, you know. Our people are the only nation on earth who doesn't really watch color and try to judge people because of the color. We are the only nation that doesn't do that. I don't know if you all get it. When we see white people or we see Indians or we see whatever, we don't study that. What we see is a person. We don't go judging people by the color and the this and the that. No, we doesn't do that. We don't really look at people like that, and that is a quality of the spirit. That is a characteristic of the spirit. You understand? But then all the other nations who think they light skin, they watch us be black, and they watch us and we different. You know, even the people, the fake people are calling themselves, you know, well, God's people. I don't know which God they're talking about, but I do believe they're talking about the father the devil, like Yah We Trust say. That is when them talking, you understand? Even them look at us like well, you know, they just call us already. You understand? They would look at us in that way. You see? But we are the only people. We are the only people that doesn't judge people by their color and by their creed and by their class. And we have to consider that. You know, so when you see the scripture say, when you start living in the spirit, you understand? When you start living in the spirit, there is no Jew, there is no Gentile. You understand what I'm saying, brethren and sisters? You understand? There is nothing like that. You know, there is no male nor female. There is nothing like that when you're serving our Elohim. I could discover some truth in that. You understand? So we have to read the scripture and look at our situations and see if it adds up. By this, you will get to know even your identity. Right? And while we are on identity here, see, I'm just going with the flow right now. You understand what I'm saying? Okay? While we are on identity, we have a serious identity in this world, our people. Well, the ones especially who are coming to slavery. I like to concentrate on these set of people because we are so destroyed. But then even in the motherland, they are so destroyed too. You understand? But the whole idea is this: people are looking for their identity. And one of the problems we have in our community is that people, they doesn't have an identity. So people create their own identity, wrong or right. They create their identity. They want to prove they are this and they are that. I am that. Like I asked one, talking to one the other day, tell me he's a hot man. You know, he's a girl's man. So his identity is all tied up with how much conquest he could have with women. You understand? That is a mess. You know? When you see people functioning like that, you know they are in a mess. And a vast part of our population, of our community, are like that. They don't know they are. And all they have to do is to look within themselves to see who they are. Because the Most High Elohim already put it there. It's a simple thing. The kingdom of heaven is within. And within the kingdom of heaven, there is everything. And your identity is also there. So we have to look at those things very carefully, very closely, and see how we could build on that. You know, build on the foundation of Yahushua. Build on the foundation of Yah. You know, it doesn't matter. The world could never defeat you if you are in Yah. Never defeat you. Yes, you'll encounter fights because the world is full of demons. You'll encounter fights. You'll encounter ups and downs. Everything will come your way. Everything. Trust me. It's not a bed of roses. You know, it's not something that, you know, when it happens to you, life becomes easier. No. Not in this world. Your life becomes adventurous, I should say. Very, very adventurous, because then you start seeing things the way you never see them before. And that is when you know you have been born again. Process is either had been begin or it's there. It's simple. You start looking at things differently. And when you start looking at things differently, you realize that you become bold and you become strong and you are humble to our Elohim. And the only person you feel, you know, you could worship is our Elohim. You worship no man, no woman, no statue, no wood and no stone. You step out from that, because the vast population worshiping stone and pan and thing, you know, worship the vehicle, worship the house, worship the diamonds and the jewels, and, you know, walking around like that is what give them comfort. That is what make them who they are. You know, it's like you have a lot of rings, you have a lot of gold, that give you a certain status. That, well, man. So you are behind this thing, and that is your identity, man. That is crazy. You know, so you put your God all up on your chest, you know, all on your fingers, and you're just moving around with your Elohim. If you don't change your ways, fire will burn you. And then if you have a nice car, nice house, you feel you are the best person on the face of the earth. You're better than Jack, and I'm better than Paul, and I'm better than John. Then I have a better work. And then, yeah, I'm better than everybody else. I'm getting more money. Check, you're worshiping wood and stone. You are hidden. And then if that is what you're worshiping, that means you follow the ways of the heathen. So you and the heathens will get judgment together. You understand? The same kind of judgment they getting when they getting it, you will be getting it too. But as I said, the only escape from this judgment with the heathen is seeking to get yourself totally engrossed in serving our Elohim in spirit and in truth. And because if you get yourself into the business of serving our Elohim in spirit and in truth, then you would most definitely experience the fruit of the Spirit, the fruits of the Spirit, the fruits of love and joy and peace and long suffering, gentleness and goodness, faith meekness and temperament. And then you will be soaring in your humility, way above the law. There is no law for you. You are beyond the law. Isn't that happiness? That is bliss. Knowing that you will be doing that for eternity. That is happiness. Brethren and sisters, I will see you in another video. I wish I could stay a little longer, you know, but I gotta go right now. You know, I don't know how. Maybe tomorrow, maybe the following day, I will be here anymore. But by the grace of the Most High, you know, I'm here. Okay, and just know that in Yah we trust. We don't trust no flesh. We don't trust no temporary this. We don't trust no temporary that. We have no trust in no politicians and no nonsense, no ministers running around faking goodness and robbing people. We have no faith and no trust in those people. All we do, we trust in the Most High, Yah. Okay? And that is how we will do it henceforth. Be at peace, be blessed, have a wonderful evening, morning, night, wherever you are. May Yah bless you.